Really take advantage of every opportunity you have to take a leadership role. Even when your confidence is lagging, if you can jump in and start a study group in college, volunteer for an organization, or just take the lead in some way, those experiences of being in charge, having to deal with other people, having to manage your time when you're already busy are just so instrumental.
And welcome to our first episode of In the Boardroom with EO US Eastbridge. I am thrilled to be joined today with Ann Dolin, our president-elect. And so thanks so much, Ann, for joining me. And in this very first episode, we look forward to doing this with all of our members so that we can spend some time just getting to know each other. So appreciate you.
Thank you, Laura. Thanks.
Yeah. So we'll start off just really, simple with tell me a little bit about you. Tell me about your business, tell me about your family. Just want to learn a little bit more about you.
Sure. I would love to. Thanks, Laura. Well, let's see. I have two kids. They are 27 and 23. And I live between Florida and Northern Virginia, Alexandria. I've been in EO for almost 14 years. And I often tell people that joining EO was the best decision I ever made, except for marrying my husband. Those were definitely the top two decisions. My business, the reason EO has been so helpful to me is that my business is in education. I'm a former teacher, and we help kids to do better in school, help them to get into the college of their choice. And I had no background in business when I first started. It was just such a grind until I found EO, and here I am.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. So with that being said, obviously, being an EO, we learn lots of things through Thirst of Learning core values. So what book would you say has had an impact on you? And it can be personal or professional.
Sure. Well, the book that had the most impact on me, actually, I read before I joined EO, and boy, did I need it. And it's The E-Myth. And I know it's kind of an overexposed book and people talk about it a lot. But for me at that time in my life, it was such a grind. And I was working probably at least 70 hours a week. I had two young kids. I had absolutely no balance in my life. And it never occurred to me there was another way until I read that book. So that book really helped me see, okay, wait, I can do things differently. I don't need to be in the business all the time. And that was really a turning point for me. I joined EO shortly thereafter, but I recommend that book a lot. It was helpful to me at that time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. So what's one thing that you might tell your 18-year-old self?
So I would tell my 18-year-old self to go out and get it. Really take advantage of every opportunity you have to take a leadership role. Even when your confidence is lagging, if you can jump in and start a study group in college, volunteer for an organization, or just take the lead in some way, those experiences of being in charge, having to deal with other people, having to manage your time when you're already busy are just so instrumental. And you're going to be doing something while other people might be playing video games at their dorm room or, something that is not productive. And I found that when I was in college, I went to college kind of as not a great student, but I really took that approach and it paid dividends for me. In my first job, I also volunteered a lot. I started different clubs, and that really put me on the map with my principal and later on.
Nice. We'll flip back to EO for a second. Tell me about a favorite EO memory that you've had. And I'm sure there's many over the years.
Oh my gosh, there are so many. But I have to say that going to GLCs over the years have been really awesome. And I really love the GLC in Frankfurt, Germany. A number of years ago, I remember jumping up on the stage with the German band and a bunch of other EOers. And just having so much fun in this huge beer garden with hundreds of other people, going crazy over German food and German music. And I really think that GLCs bring people together from all over the world. You get to meet people from different walks of life, different chapters. And even if you're not in leadership and you have the chance to attend, you should absolutely take it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that. You just got back from a trip that was done kind of through EO too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went to Croatia. I set that up with EO Birmingham in Alabama. And it ended up being me from Eastbridge, EO Birmingham, and EO Utah. And it was just a blast. We had a 240-foot yacht that we chartered, and we went to a bunch of different islands off the coast of Croatia. I tell you, I got so many different business ideas. I really restructured my thinking and just talking to other entrepreneurs. So obviously, it was beautiful. It was cool to be on a yacht, but even more so, just being around other super positive people that are all in growth mode was really rewarding.
Yeah, I think that's one thing because I did that trip a couple years ago and there was 18 cabins, so basically 18 members plus spouses. And so just the intimacy of it was really remarkable and, something that I would say I've never gotten from any other event that I've ever attended. Even, Alex and I have done like backroads trips where they're small groups, but also having that, forum piece and the commonality as far as language goes, I guess, and just being really comfortable and having those conversations really makes EO trips so much different. So
For sure. And we're planning one next year to Dubai. So be on the lookout. EO East Bridge.
nice. How exciting. Okay. So tell me one thing that you're currently looking forward to.
Hmm. Well, at this point in my business, I've had my business 27 years and I really do not work in the day-to-day business, but somehow I still get sucked in every now and then. And my current goal is to work 10 hours a week and to show up at big meetings like our level 10 meeting or, another meeting that's really important and really to be, a coach in a way, but not be drawn back into the group, into the business. So I'm really, really working on that. I'm working to reduce my role in public speaking, which I do a lot of, and that brings in business to the company. So I'm in the process of getting other people to do that and training them.
So you mentioned even, like things that you learned on the boat, things that, you're working on now. Like what is like one thing that you feel like you've done that's implemented into your life that that's made life easier, whether it be personal, professional, but it sounds like you've kind of done a really great job of balance between the two.
Sometimes, at this stage, yes, but I've also had my business a long time. I think the best thing I ever did was I have a number two, and she's just absolutely spectacular. I adore her. We get along great. She's worked with me for 15 years. And I just saw her capability. And over time, I got her a coach early on when she had some stumbling blocks. But I saw her potential and I slowly gave her my responsibilities and other people as well. But I also had everybody report to her. And so now nobody reports to me except for her. And that in itself has made a tremendous difference.
Yeah, I bet it would. Okay. And then what's one thing that's keeping you up at night?
Well, it's actually not business related, but it's a house. And I have been manifesting this house that I saw on randomly. It was for sale right around the block from me. And I thought, oh, we could never afford this house. And turns out the seller dropped the price so many times. And I just kept dreaming about this house, how much I wanted it, my life would be like in this house. And I really put it on my manifesting list and we're closing on it next month. And I am just so excited. It is absolutely my dream house.
I love that. Well, shoot, it sounds like you're sleeping on it rather than keeping you up. That's incredible. Okay. And then if you've ever gone to dinner with me, my number one question is, we're sitting here 1 year from today. What are we celebrating?
We are celebrating me working 10 hours a week.
Okay.
And really, having that opportunity to spend on other things like you, Laura. I know you love endurance sports and triathlon and fun things like that. And I do too. And I really want to have more time to spend on pursuits like sports. And so that would be a huge celebration if I could get to that point.
Okay. Awesome. I believe that you will. Talk about manifesting. That is definitely something that you can put together. So great. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited that we're going to spend this time with all of our EO US Eastbridge members. I feel like there's so many that I don't know. So I look forward to learning more about them and everyone else learning more about them. So until our next episode, thank you so much, Anne, and thank you, US Eastbridge.
Thanks, Laura.